Lakers currently ninth. LeBron dealing with some issues, missed several games. Has some hope. They beat the Blazers recently. Not to say the Blazers are good, but those are teams that the Lakers have tricked games to. Ninth place. You're the Lakers. Trade deadline's coming up. You're Rob Pelinka. Are you working those phones trying to make a move? And what do you think the move that's necessary to get this squad back to the championship form that many believe they could have had when the season started?
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're making decisions, especially because you're dealing with, you have superstars, right? Right now everyone's on the Westbrook trade. The answer is, what are you going to get back for him? What do you think, what are you hoping to get back for a Westbrook talent? Like, you know what I mean? Like, forget, let's everything everyone's saying. What do you think you're going to get back that's going to help you pogo to championship status? That is the real question. Because you're trading him for someone who can be impactful with that team. And I don't see where that trade comes in. I don't, because at this point you're looking for a shooting guard. But they have the same dead space that Philly does. You got a guy that you got three players that start that's going to take 1 to 4 shots. Right? They average, 3 players as a start on the starting lineup average a total of 15 points combined. 15 points combined. Well, unfortunately, that's 2 versus 5 on offense. It's 2 players versus 5 defenders. You're gonna struggle. So it's trying to figure out, you gotta remember, LeBron is at a certain age. You need more scoring around him. If you put more scoring around him, that means no one can actually double. You can't double anyone. That means LeBron gets to the basket easier, AD gets to the basket easier, because there's more players out there that can actually put that ball in the basket. The fact that you're building lineups for defense when everybody else is offense, that's what's actually hurting you too. Because you're scoring 15 points a game, the 3 players that those guys are guarding are scoring about 40 to 45. Someone has to make that up. While beating, I got to beat my man and then outscore them by 40 to 50 points. So I don't see what Lakers can trade that's going to get back something that's going to help them into that. This is all the pieces you have. You got to figure out how to cook this dish. And that's the thing. You got to figure out how to, cook this meal. I got everything you need to make a Thanksgiving meal.
So then where do you place the blame at for this season and so far? Because obviously LeBron playing at an MVP level when he's on, the 30-point scoring streak that turned into a 25-point scoring streak. And it just wasn't getting it done, in the win-loss column.
Because, you still got one guy. You got one guy struggling because the space he needs is not there. So now he has to do something that he just doesn't do. He has to settle more, has to shoot more jumpers. He has to try to force the action. And that's because there's 3 players on the court that's just sitting there, right? Why would I ever guard Bradley? No, I'm just serious. Why would I guard him? What is he gonna do? He's gonna sit in the corner somewhere. If Westbrook's here, I'm just gonna sit here. I want you to pass it to him. All he does is just gonna pump fake pass shit back. I don't gotta guard him. Trevor Ariza. Trevor's there for defense. Trevor's gonna shoot about 4 shots, right? I'm not gonna guard him. He got 4 shots. The best he can give you is 12 on those 4 shots. He hit all 4 threes. But again, that's only 4 shots. Yeah. So I'm just gonna sit in the lane. Dwight, they're not doing 5 down, and he's gonna get 4 shots. He's there for rebound and defense.
Yeah, 2 of them are gonna be putbacks.
Yeah, so now you have 3 guys who's sitting there. Like, you know what I mean? LeBron bullying through is a lot different than Westbrook trying to bully through. You know what I mean? So it becomes a harder match. Because I remember when I was with Washington, and I understood that, and me and Eddie like, yo, hold on, we got 2 post players. We got a 5 that post and a 4 that post. I can't get in the lane. Me and Larry can't get in this lane. Like, every time we try to drive, one of them is on the block. You telling us don't settle, we're forced to settle. We're forced to settle because someone's posting here. So when I take my man and beat him, I got a big man there. I got a big man here. So we need one of these 2 to float up. And then when we got Antoine, boom. Now when I drive, there's only one big man. So now there's a lane. It becomes like, because you got to remember, as long as you're forcing me, that's what I said, you're forcing me to shoot jumpers when I don't want to. You're telling me not to settle, but the offense is telling me shoot a jumper. You know, so like little things like that actually do matter. Like people don't think they matter. They really do matter. Like it does matter. Like we have, that's what I said, you have habits. You have, like when you look at like shit like Olympics, right? There's a reason that Melo led the team in scoring every year. His style of basketball is great for that. They play in zone, so that means it's gonna be harder for LeBron and Chris Paul and them to get into that lane. Melo's a jump shooter, quick shooter, rhythm shooter. That's perfect basketball for him, right? So he doesn't, he doesn't, went to Syracuse, zone buster, right? So he understands that space and in that world. So when you look at it like, man, Melo's leading them and scoring every year, how? Because that's his world right now. Yeah. He's playing in his world. He's playing like everyone else gets affected because now they have to try to navigate through this space. Small space, NBA players, shorter 3. Like it becomes a smaller space for these guys to be as great as we see them. So now they're playing, they gotta figure out how to play smarter. When Melo's like, I get to do me. So, that the way the game is being, your lineup is very important to some players.